The unexpected visitor. Dr. Ethan Cole stared at the pulsing signals on his computer screen, his heart racing. After years of scanning the cosmos for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence, he'd finally found something. The rhythmic patterns couldn't be explained by any known astronomical phenomenon. This was it, proof of alien life. As chief astronomer at the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico, Ethan had devoted his career to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, at 35, his dedication had paid off. He quickly sent the data to his colleagues around the world, knowing they would want to verify his findings. Within hours, observatories across the globe confirmed the signal. The news spread like wildfire, dominating headlines and sparking heated debates. Were the aliens friendly, hostile? What did this mean for humanity? Ethan found himself thrust into the spotlight, giving interviews and testifying before government panels. As exciting as the discovery was, part of him longed for the quiet days of research. He missed the peace of staring up at the stars, wondering what secrets they held. Months passed and the signal continued, growing stronger. Then, on a sweltering summer night, everything changed. Ethan was working late at the observatory when alarms blared. He rushed outside to see a blinding light descending from the sky. Heart pounding, he watched as a sleek, silvery craft touched down in the clearing near the telescope. A hatch opened and a figure emerged. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. She, and it was unmistakably female, was unlike anything he'd ever seen. Tall and graceful, with iridescent blue skin and large, almond-shaped eyes. Her movements were fluid, almost hypnotic. "Greetings, Ethan Cole," she said, her voice musical and otherworldly. "I am Zara, emissary of the Lyran Confederation. We come in peace." Ethan struggled to find his voice. How do you know my name?" Zara smiled, a gesture both familiar and alien. "We have been studying your world for some time. Your work led us here." In the days that followed, the world was turned upside down. Zara and her fellow Lyrans shared incredible technology and knowledge, curing diseases and solving energy crises. They spoke of a galactic community Earth could join, opening up the stars to humanity. Ethan found himself working closely with Zara, serving as a liaison between humans and Lyrans. He was fascinated by her intelligence and grace, and she seemed equally intrigued by him. Despite their differences, a connection formed between them. As months passed, their relationship deepened. Ethan knew it was unconventional, maybe even dangerous, but he couldn't deny his feelings. Zara, it seemed, felt the same. Their union was controversial, to say the least. Some hailed it as a beautiful symbol of interspecies cooperation. Others warned of unforeseen consequences. Ethan and Zara paid them little mind, lost in their own world of discovery and love. A year after the Lyrans' arrival, Zara announced she was with child. The news sent shockwaves through both human and Lyran societies. Such a hybrid had never been conceived before. No one knew what to expect. The pregnancy was difficult, with Zara's health declining as the months progressed. Ethan worried constantly, but Zara remained optimistic. "This child will be a bridge between our worlds," she would say, her hand resting on her swollen belly. Finally, after a tense and complicated delivery, their daughter was born. They named her Lyra, after the constellation that had brought them together. She was beautiful, with Zara's shimmering blue skin and Ethan's dark, curly hair. Her eyes were a swirling mix of human and Lyran, with flecks of gold that seemed to dance in the light. For a few blissful months, they were a family. Ethan marveled at Lyra's rapid development, her intelligence evident even as an infant. Zara doted on her, singing alien lullabies and telling stories of distant worlds. But their happiness was not to last. One night, Ethan awoke to find Zara's side of the bed empty. He found her in Lyra's room, hastily packing a bag. Her face was streaked with tears. "Zara, what's going on?" Ethan asked, fear gripping his heart. She turned to him, her eyes filled with sorrow. "I must go, my love. My people, they're calling me back. There's a crisis, and I'm needed. Ethan felt his world crumbling. But what about us? What about Lyra? Zara cupped his face in her hands. I cannot take her with me. It's too dangerous. She must stay here with you. You'll protect her, help her understand both sides of her heritage. I don't understand, Ethan pleaded. Why can't I come with you? Where I'm going, humans cannot follow. Not yet. She pressed a small device into his hand. This will help you care for Lyra. It contains information about her Lyran physiology and a way to contact me if there's an emergency. Ethan's mind reeled. This couldn't be happening. How long will you be gone? Zora's silence was answer enough. She kissed him deeply, then bent to place a gentle kiss on Lyra's forehead. Remember, my darling, she whispered to their sleeping daughter. You are the future. With that, she was gone, leaving Ethan alone with their half-alien child and a world of questions. The next morning, news broke that the Lyrans had departed Earth, citing an urgent matter in their home system. Speculation ran wild, but Ethan knew the truth. He was now a single father to the most unique child on the planet. As days turned to weeks and weeks to months, Ethan adjusted to his new reality. Raising Lyra was a challenge unlike any he'd faced. Her growth was accelerated, her mind developing at an astonishing rate. By her first birthday, she was speaking in full sentences and showing signs of telepathic abilities. Ethan did his best to keep her existence a secret, knowing the danger she would face if the wrong people learned of her. He moved them to a remote cabin in the mountains, continuing his research remotely while focusing on Lyra's education. But he couldn't hide her forever. As Lyra's powers grew, so did her curiosity about the world beyond their secluded home. Ethan knew that sooner or later, they would have to face the challenges that lay ahead. One night, as they sat stargazing on the porch, Lyra turned to him with her piercing, otherworldly eyes. Dad, she said, her voice carrying wisdom beyond her years, when are we going to find Mom? Ethan's heart ached at the question. He pulled her close, looking up at the stars that held so many secrets. I don't know, sweetheart, he said softly, but I promise you, we'll never stop trying. As if in response, a shooting star blazed across the sky. Ethan made a silent wish, hoping that somewhere out there, Zora was looking at the same stars, thinking of them. Whatever challenges lay ahead, he knew one thing for certain: their story was far from over. It was only the beginning of a journey that would span the stars themselves. A new life and growing challenges. The mountain cabin creaked in the cool night air as Ethan sat at his makeshift workstation, poring over data from the Lyran device. Lyra, now appearing to be a teenager despite being only 5 years old, sat cross-legged on the floor, her eyes closed in deep concentration. A faint blue glow emanated from her skin, casting ethereal shadows on the walls. Dad, Lyra's voice broke the silence, her eyes still closed. I can feel them. They're scared. Ethan looked up from his work, concern etching his features. Who's scared, sweetheart? Lyra's eyes opened, swirling with gold flecks. The Lyrans. Something's wrong. This wasn't the first time Lyra had sensed disturbances from her mother's people. Her powers had been growing exponentially, far beyond anything Ethan could have anticipated. He'd done his best to help her control them, but he was out of his depth. Can you tell what's happening? Ethan asked, trying to keep his voice calm. Lyra shook her head, frustrated. It's all jumbled, but there's a darkness, something that scares even them. Ethan's mind raced. In the years since Zara's departure, he continued his research, trying to make sense of the fragmented data left behind. There were hints of a greater conflict in the galaxy, but nothing concrete. A sharp knock at the door made them both jump. Ethan's heart pounded. No one knew they were here. He grabbed the pulse pistol Zara had left him and motioned for Lyra to hide. Dr. Cole, a voice called out. We know you're in there. We need to talk. Ethan hesitated, then opened the door a crack. 2 figures stood outside, a man and a woman in dark suits. The woman held up a badge. Agent Sarah Chen, Earth Defense Initiative. This is my partner, Agent Marcus Reeves. May we come in? Ethan's grip tightened on the pistol. How did you find us? Agent Chen's expression was grim. We've been monitoring unusual energy signatures in this area. Dr. Cole, we know about your daughter, and we need your help. Against his better judgment, Ethan let them in. Lyra emerged from hiding, her eyes wary but curious. I'm sorry for the intrusion, Agent Chen said, her gaze fixed on Lyra with a mix of awe and apprehension. But we don't have much time. The Galactic Coalition has made contact. Ethan's breath caught. The what? Agent Reeves stepped forward. After the Lyrans left, other alien races reached out. There's a war coming, Dr. Cole. A war that could destroy everything. Earth, the Lyrans, all of it. Lyra's eyes widened. The darkness I've been sensing. Agent Chen nodded. We believe so. The Coalition needs our help, and more importantly, they need Lyra. Ethan instinctively moved in front of his daughter. Absolutely not. I won't let you use her as a weapon. Dad, Lyra said softly, placing a hand on his arm. I want to help. If Mom's in danger, if the whole galaxy's in danger, I have to try. The agents explained that a species known as the Void Collective was consuming entire star systems, growing stronger with each conquest. The Coalition believed that Lyra, as a hybrid of human and Lyran DNA, might hold the key to stopping them. As Ethan listened, his mind reeled. This was everything he feared, everything he'd tried to protect Lyra from. But looking at his daughter's determined face, he realized he couldn't shield her forever. If we do this, Ethan said, his voice tight, we do it together. I won't let her face this alone. Agent Chen nodded. Of course. We'll need your expertise as well, Dr. Cole. A ship is waiting to take us to the Coalition headquarters. We leave in an hour. As they packed hurriedly, Ethan's thoughts turned to Zara. Had she known about this threat? Was that the real reason she'd left? He clutched the communication device she'd given him, praying it would still work across the vast distances of space. The journey to the Coalition base was a blur of stars and swirling nebulae. Lyra spent hours staring out the viewports, her eyes reflecting the cosmos. Ethan marveled at her composure, feeling a swell of pride mixed with fear. When they arrived, the base was a hive of activity. Aliens of all shapes and sizes rushed about, speaking in a cacophony of languages. At the center of it all stood a tall, regal figure that Ethan recognized instantly. Zara, he breathed. She turned, her eyes widening in shock and joy. Ethan, Lyra, how? Lyra ran to her mother, embracing her tightly. Ethan approached more slowly, a storm of emotions warring within him. I'm so sorry, Zara said, her voice breaking. I never wanted to leave you, but I had to protect you from this. Before Ethan could respond, alarms blared throughout the station. A holographic display flickered to life, showing a massive, ink-black fleet approaching. The Void Collective, Zara whispered, fear evident in her voice. They found us. Lyra stepped forward, her hands clenched to her sides. The air around her crackled with energy. Then it's time they learned they messed with the wrong family. As the station erupted into frantic preparations for battle, Ethan looked at his daughter with a mixture of pride and terror. She was no longer the little girl he'd raised in seclusion. She was becoming something more, a bridge between worlds, and perhaps the galaxy's last hope. Zara took Ethan's hand, squeezing it tightly. I never stopped loving you, she said softly. Either of you. Ethan met her gaze, years of longing and hurt and hope passing between them. We'll talk after we save the galaxy, he said with a wry smile. As the first shots of the battle lit up space around them, Ethan, Zara, and Lyra stood united, ready to face whatever came next. The fate of not just Earth, but countless worlds, hung in the balance. And at the center of it all was a family forged across the stars, bound by love and an unbreakable determination to protect all they held dear. The Void Collective ships loomed closer, their obsidian hulls seeming to devour the very light around them. Lyra closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind. She could feel the fear and determination of the coalition forces, the cold hunger of the void, and something else, a familiar presence that made her gasp. "Mom, Dad," she said urgently. "There are people inside those ships, trapped consciousnesses, powering the collective." Zora's eyes widened in horror. By the stars, that's how they've grown so powerful. They're not just conquering worlds, they're assimilating them. Ethan's scientific mind raced. If we could disrupt that connection, free those minds, we might have a chance, Lyra finished. As the battle raged around them, the family worked feverishly. Ethan's knowledge of xenobiology, Zora's advanced technology, and Lyra's unique abilities combined in ways no one could have predicted. They developed a plan, risky, perhaps even suicidal, but with the potential to turn the tide. Lyra would use her telepathic powers, amplified by Lyran tech, to reach the imprisoned minds within the void ships. Ethan and Zora would pilot a small, stealthy craft to deliver her close enough to the enemy fleet. It was a long shot, but it was all they had. As they prepared to depart, Ethan pulled Lyra into a tight hug. "I'm so proud of you," he whispered. "No matter what happens, remember that." Lyra smiled, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I love you, Dad. Both of you. We're going to make it through this." The small craft slipped away from the coalition base, weaving through debris and weapons fire. Ethan's hands were steady on the controls, years of pent-up tension and longing flowing between him and Zora as they worked in perfect sync. They reached the outer edge of the void fleet. "Now, Lyra," Zora urged. Lyra closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind. The effort was enormous, sweat beading on her blue-tinged skin. Ethan and Zora watched in awe as a soft glow enveloped their daughter. Suddenly, Lyra's eyes snapped open, blazing with golden light. "I can hear them," she gasped. "So many voices, so much pain. They want to be free." The nearest void ship shuddered, black tendrils of energy crackling across its surface. Then another and another. A chain reaction spread through the fleet as trapped minds awakened, fighting against their captors. Ethan's console lit up with incoming transmissions. "The coalition ships are reporting the void vessels are powering down. It's working." But their elation was short-lived. A massive tremor rocked their small craft, and a shadow fell over them. The largest void ship, a behemoth that dwarfed all others, bore down on their position. "No," Zora breathed. "The void overseer, it's noticed us." Tendrils of dark energy lashed out, ensnaring their ship. Lyra screamed, clutching her head as a malevolent presence invaded her mind. "Foolish creatures," a voice boomed, seeming to come from everywhere at once. "You cannot stop the inevitable. All will be consumed. All will become void." Ethan watched in horror as inky blackness began to seep into the cabin, creeping towards Lyra. Without hesitation, he threw himself in front of his daughter, feeling an icy cold pierce his very soul. "Dad, no," Lyra cried out. As the darkness enveloped him, Ethan saw flashes of memory, meeting Zora for the first time, holding newborn Lyra in his arms, quiet nights stargazing on their cabin's porch. He clung to those moments of love and wonder, refusing to let the void take them. Then, warmth. Ethan felt Zora's hand in his, saw Lyra's determined face. Their shared love created a barrier against the encroaching darkness. Lyra's power flared, brighter than ever before, fueled by the unbreakable bond of her family. "We are not your puppets," Lyra declared, her voice resonating with power. "We are not your fuel. We are free." A burst of energy exploded outward from their small craft, rippling through space. The void ships shuddered, their obsidian hulls cracking to reveal the imprisoned souls within. All across the battlefield, the captive minds broke free, turning on their former masters. The overseer's ship began to disintegrate, unable to maintain cohesion without its stolen power source. As it crumbled, a psychic backlash slammed into their craft, overloading systems and sending them tumbling through space. Ethan's last conscious thought was of his family, holding them close as emergency systems engaged and the world faded to black. He awoke to the soft beep of medical equipment and the feeling of a small, warm hand in his. Lyra sat beside his bed, her eyes red-rimmed but smiling. Zara stood nearby, speaking quietly with coalition officials. "Did we do it?" Ethan croaked, his throat dry. "Did we win?" Lyra's smile widened. "We did, Dad. The Void Collective is gone. You saved me, and then we saved everyone." Zara joined them, taking Ethan's other hand. "The liberated minds are being helped, return to their home worlds where possible. The galaxy is celebrating, and it's all thanks to our impossible, wonderful family." Ethan looked at his daughter, this miracle of two worlds, and the woman he'd loved across the stars. "So what now?" he asked. "Now," Zara said, her eyes twinkling, "we have a galaxy to explore, bridges to build, together." As Ethan drifted back to sleep, he felt a profound sense of peace. They had faced the darkness and emerged stronger. Whatever adventures awaited them among the stars, they would face them as a family, human, Lyran, and something beautifully in between. The story of Ethan, Zara, and Lyra was already spreading across the cosmos, a testament to the power of love, courage, and the indomitable spirit of two species united. It was not an end, but a beginning, the dawn of a new era of cooperation and discovery. And somewhere, on a small blue planet turning slowly through space, a young child looked up at the night sky and dreamed of the adventures that awaited them among the stars. The Galactic Renaissance. 5 years after the defeat of the Void Collective, the Milky Way was experiencing an unprecedented era of cooperation and technological advancement. Earth had become a central hub in this new galactic community, with humans working alongside dozens of alien species to forge a brighter future. At the heart of this renaissance were Ethan, Zara, and Lyra Cole, the family whose bond had quite literally saved the galaxy. They had become legends, their story inspiring countless others to reach across the stars and build connections. Lyra, now appearing to be in her early 20s due to her hybrid physiology, had grown into a powerful and compassionate leader. Her unique abilities made her an invaluable mediator between species, able to bridge gaps in communication and understanding that had previously seemed insurmountable. On this particular day, the Cole family was preparing for the inauguration of the Galactic Harmony Institute, a massive space station dedicated to fostering interspecies cooperation and scientific advancement. As they stood in their quarters, preparing for the ceremony, an urgent message flashed across their comm system. Ambassador Cole, a holographic figure flickered to life, Admiral Caxlith of the Andromeda Alliance. "We have a situation that requires your immediate attention." Lyra stepped forward, her brow furrowing. "What's happened, Admiral?" The reptilian alien's scales shimmered with anxiety. "We've detected an anomaly on the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy. It bears similarities to the Void Collective's energy signature." A chill ran through the room. Ethan and Zara exchanged worried glances. "That's impossible," Ethan said. "We destroyed the Overseer. The collective was dismantled." Nevertheless, Admiral Caxlith continued, "The readings are clear. And that's not all. We're picking up distress signals from several systems near the anomaly. Entire planets are going dark." Lyra's eyes blazed with determination. "We'll leave immediately. Prepare the Starbridger for departure." As they hurried to their ship, a sleek, advanced vessel that was part diplomatic transport, part scientific laboratory, Ethan couldn't shake a feeling of dread. They had sacrificed so much to defeat the Void. The thought of facing that darkness again was almost unbearable. The Starbridger tore through space, pushing the boundaries of faster-than-light travel. As they neared the Andromeda Galaxy, Lyra sat in quiet meditation, reaching out with her enhanced senses. "I can feel it," she said softly, her eyes still closed. "It's like an echo of the Void, but there's something different. something almost alive. Zara, at the helm, frowned. Alive. The void was a force of consumption, of endings. How could it be alive? Before Lyra could respond, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as they were yanked out of hyperspace, tumbling into a sea of swirling, prismatic energy. What the hell? Ethan yelled, clinging to his console. Through the viewscreen, they saw it, a massive, pulsating structure that defied description. It was as if someone had taken a black hole and turned it inside out, revealing a kaleidoscope of impossible colors and shapes. By the stars, Zara breathed. It's beautiful. Lyra stood, approaching the viewscreen. Her eyes widened as understanding dawned. It's not the void, she said. It's what comes after. The void was destruction, consumption. This is creation. As if in response to her words, tendrils of energy reached out from the structure, enveloping the starbridger. But instead of the cold, draining touch of the void, this energy was warm, invigorating. Suddenly, their minds were flooded with images and sensations. They saw worlds being born, civilizations rising and falling in the blink of an eye, the entire cycle of the universe playing out in fast forward. It's showing us, Ethan gasped. The cosmic cycle. Destruction leads to creation, leads to destruction, over and over. Zara's eyes lit up with scientific curiosity. Of course, the Void Collective wasn't just consuming. It was gathering the energy and information needed for this cosmic rebirth. Lyra stepped closer to the view screen, placing her hand against it. It's not a threat, she said softly. It's an invitation. Before Ethan or Zara could stop her, Lyra vanished in a flash of light. They cried out in alarm, but moments later, her voice echoed through the ship. Mom, Dad, it's okay. I understand now. We all have a part to play in this. The prismatic energy engulfed the ship completely, and Ethan and Zara found themselves standing in a realm beyond physical reality. Lyra stood before them, but she was more. Her form shimmered with the same cosmic energy that surrounded them. The universe is alive, Lyra explained, her voice resonating with newfound wisdom. And it's evolving. The Void Collective, as terrible as it was a necessary step in that evolution. And now, it's time for the next phase. Ethan struggled to comprehend. But what does that mean for us? For all the civilizations out there? Lyra smiled, and in that smile, they saw echoes of the little girl they had raised, the bridge between worlds. It means we have work to do. The universe is offering us a chance to be part of something greater, to help shape the next cosmic cycle. Zara reached out, taking Ethan's hand. Together, she asked. Ethan nodded, squeezing her hand. Together. As one, the Cole family stepped forward into the swirling cosmic energy. Their forms began to merge with the greater whole, but their individual consciousnesses remained intact. In that moment, they saw the truth of existence, the endless dance of creation and destruction, the interconnectedness of all things. They saw their role in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, not as mere observers, but as active participants in the universe's evolution. The Starbridger emerged from the anomaly, but it was changed. It pulsed with the same prismatic energy, a beacon of cosmic renewal. As they made contact with the waiting fleets of the Milky Way and Andromeda, Ethan, Zara, and Lyra knew their journey was far from over. They had transcended their individual forms, becoming guardians of a new cosmic order. Their task now was to guide others towards this greater understanding, to help all sentient life recognize its place in the grand cycle of existence. As news spread across 2 galaxies of the Cole family's transformation, a new age dawned. Fear of the unknown gave way to a hunger for exploration and enlightenment. Species that had once been bitter enemies now worked together, driven by the promise of cosmic evolution. The Galactic Harmony Institute became a focal point for this new movement, with beings from across the universe coming to learn, grow, and prepare for their own transcendence. And at the heart of it all was the Cole family, once a simple human scientist, an alien diplomat, and their hybrid daughter. Now, They were cosmic shepherds, guiding the next phase of universal evolution with wisdom, compassion, and an unbreakable bond of love that spanned galaxies. As the new cosmic cycle began to unfold, bringing with it wonders and challenges beyond imagination, one thing remained constant: the power of connection, of family, of love. It was this power that had saved the galaxy from the void, and it was this power that would light the way forward into a future brighter than any star: the cosmic awakening. A millennium had passed since the Cole family's transcendence, yet their legacy continued to shake the universe. The Galactic Harmony Institute had evolved into the Cosmic Consciousness Collective, CCC, a vast network of minds spanning multiple galaxies. But not all was peaceful in this new era of enlightenment. On a distant planet called Novaterra, a young human-Lyran hybrid named Aria sat atop a crystalline spire, her iridescent skin shimmering in the light of 3 moons. Like many of her generation, Aria was a descendant of Ethan and Zara Cole, carrying within her the potential for cosmic awakening. Aria, a voice called from below. The Eldermones are gathering. It's time. Aria sighed, her swirling golden eyes focusing on her best friend, Zex, a towering 4-armed being from a silicon-based species. I'm coming, she replied, leaping from the spire and using her latent telekinetic abilities to slow her descent. As they made their way to the grand amphitheater, Aria's mind buzzed with anticipation and doubt. Today was her resonance trial, a rite of passage where young beings attempted to connect with the cosmic consciousness that the Cole family had discovered eons ago. The amphitheater was a marvel of bioengineering and quantum architecture, its living walls pulsing with streams of data and psychic energy. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and compositions filled the stands, their collective thoughts creating a low hum in the air. At the center stood 3 shimmering figures, the Elder Minds, manifestations of Ethan Zara and Lyra Cole's transcendent consciousness. They were not truly the Coles, but echoes of their essence, guiding new generations towards cosmic understanding. Aria of Novaterra, the Lyra aspect spoke, her voice resonating on multiple frequencies. Step forward and embrace your destiny. Aria approached, her heart racing. She had trained for this moment her entire life, yet doubt gnawed at her. What if she wasn't worthy? What if the cosmic consciousness rejected her? Be not afraid, the Ethan aspect said, a hint of his old human warmth in his tone. The universe awaits your unique perspective. The Zara aspect raised her hands, and a swirling vortex of prismatic energy appeared before Aria. Enter, child of 2 worlds, and find your place in the cosmic dance. Taking a deep breath, Aria stepped into the vortex. Immediately, her consciousness expanded beyond her physical form. She saw the birth and death of stars, the intricate web of dark matter binding galaxies together, the very fabric of space-time folding and unfolding. But something was wrong. As Aria delved deeper into the cosmic awareness, she encountered a dissonance, a jarring note in the universal symphony. She pushed further, driven by an insatiable curiosity that was her birthright. Suddenly she saw it, a tear in the cosmic tapestry, a wound in reality itself. And through that wound, something was emerging, something ancient, terrifying, and undeniably alive. Aria's physical body convulsed, and she let out a scream that reverberated through both physical and psychic realms. The vortex collapsed, and she fell to the ground, trembling. Aria! Zex cried, rushing to her side. The Elder Minds approached, their expressions grave. What did you see, child? The Ethan aspect asked urgently. Aria looked up, her eyes wide with terror and wonder. The void, she whispered. It's not gone, it's evolving, and it's coming back. A murmur of fear rippled through the amphitheater. The defeat of the Void Collective was legend, a cornerstone of their cosmic civilization. If it was returning? Impossible, the Zara aspect said, but uncertainty tinged her voice. Aria stood, her legs shaky but her resolve firm. Not impossible. We've forgotten something crucial. The cosmic cycle, it's not just about creation. Destruction has its place too. We've been so focused on growth, on expansion, we've left no room for renewal. The Lyra aspect nodded slowly. Balance, she mused. We sought to transcend the cycle, but in doing so, we may have broken it. Zex looked between Arya and the Elder Minds, confusion evident in his multifaceted eyes. What does this mean? Are we doomed? Arya took her friend's hand, a spark of determination igniting within her. No, she said firmly. It means we have work to do. The Coles saved the galaxy by understanding the enemy, by finding a way to transform destruction into creation. Now it's our turn. The Eldermones conferred silently for a moment, then turned to address the assembled beings. Arya speaks truth, they said in unison. A great challenge lies before us, one that will test the very foundations of our cosmic society. But within this challenge lies opportunity, a chance to achieve true balance, true harmony. A plan quickly took shape. Arya, Zex, and a diverse team of brilliant minds from across the galaxies will embark on a mission to the edge of known space, seeking to understand and potentially communicate with the evolving void. As preparations were made, Arya stood once again atop the crystalline spire, gazing at the star-filled sky. Zex joined her, his usually jovial face serious. "Are you afraid?" he asked softly. Arya considered the question. "Yes," she admitted, "but I'm also excited. Don't you see, Zex? This is why we're here. Not just to bask in the glow of cosmic consciousness, but to face the darkness, to find balance." Zex nodded, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "Whatever comes, we face it together." As their ship, the Equilibrium, prepared for launch, Arya felt the weight of history on her shoulders. She was not just Arya of Novaterra now, but an heir to the Cole legacy, tasked with shepherding the universe through its next great evolution. The Equilibrium rose into the atmosphere, its quantum drives humming with power. Arya took her place at the command interface, her mind linking with the ship's sentient eye. As they prepared to make the jump to hyperspace, she sent a silent promise to her ancestors, to Ethan and Zara and Lyra Cole. "We will not fail," she whispered. "We will find a way to balance the cosmic scales, to ensure that creation and destruction dance in harmony. The next chapter of our cosmic story begins now." With a flash of light, the Equilibrium vanished into the quantum foam of hyperspace, carrying with it the hopes of countless civilizations and the indomitable spirit of a family whose love had already saved the universe once. As they journeyed towards the unknown, Arya and her crew knew that the fate of all existence hung in the balance. But they were not afraid. They were the children of stars, the heirs of heroes, and they would face whatever lay ahead with courage, compassion, and an unwavering belief in the power of unity. The cosmic awakening had begun, and with it, a new legend was taking shape, one that would echo across eternity. The quantum nexus. The Equilibrium emerged from hyperspace at the very edge of charted reality. Before them stretched a vista that defied comprehension, a swirling maelstrom of quantum foam, where the laws of physics broke down and possibility reigned supreme. Arya stood at the ship's observation deck, her iridescent skin pulsing with nervous energy. Beside her, Zex's 4 arms were busy coordinating data streams from the ship's sensors. The rest of their diverse crew, beings from a dozen different species and dimensions, worked feverishly at their stations. By the cosmic core breathed Dr. Lyria, a bioluminescent, cephalopod-like scientist. It's beautiful and terrifying. Arya nodded, her swirling golden eyes fixed on the chaos before them. "The birthplace of universes," she murmured, "and perhaps their graveyard too." A sharp ping from the ship's AI, Nova, caught their attention. "Anomaly detected," Nova announced, its holographic form shimmering into existence. "Unknown energy signature approaching at superluminal speeds." Before anyone could react, a blinding flash of light engulfed the ship. Arya felt a sensation of being stretched and compressed simultaneously, as if reality itself was being rewritten around them. When the light faded, they found themselves in a realm beyond imagination. Massive, crystalline structures floated in a sea of living light. Streams of pure information flowed like rivers between pulsating nodes of concentrated thought. And at the center of it all, a swirling vortex of darkness and light, constantly shifting and reforming. "Welcome, children of the stars," a voice echoed in their minds, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "We are the quantum nexus, the living embodiment of cosmic balance." Arya stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We come seeking understanding. Our universe faces a great threat, the return of the void." A ripple of what could only be described as cosmic laughter washed over them. "The void is not a threat, young one. It is a necessity." Zex's multifaceted eyes blinked in confusion. "But it nearly destroyed our galaxies once before. How can that be necessary?" The voice took on a patient tone, like a teacher explaining a complex concept to eager students. "Creation and destruction are two sides of the same coin. Your ancestors, the Coles, understood this on an instinctive level, but in your eagerness to expand, to transcend, you have upset the balance." Images flooded their minds: the birth of stars, the death of galaxies, the endless cycle of cosmic renewal. They saw how the Void Collective, terrible as it was, had played a crucial role in this cycle. "But we've evolved beyond that need, haven't we?" Dr. Lyria asked, her tentacles writhing with excitement at the new knowledge. "Our civilizations, our technology." "Ah, but a blink in the eye of eternity," the Nexus interrupted. "You have grown powerful, yes, but in doing so, you risk stagnation. The universe requires change, requires challenge, to continue its evolution." Arya's mind raced, connecting dots across eons of cosmic history. So the void's return, it's a correction? A way to restore balance? "Precisely," the Nexus confirmed. "But it need not be the cataclysm you fear. With understanding comes the power to shape your destiny." Over the next subjective weeks, though time had little meaning in this realm, Arya and her crew were taught the fundamental truths of cosmic existence. They learned to see beyond the binary of creation and destruction, to understand the intricate dance of forces that kept reality in motion. But as their knowledge grew, so did their concern for their home galaxies. The void was still coming, and without proper preparation, it could devastate countless worlds. "We have to go back," Arya declared, addressing both her crew and the quantum nexus. "We have to share what we've learned to prepare our people." The Nexus's response held a note of approval. "Yes. But know this, the knowledge we have shared comes with great responsibility. You must guide your civilizations towards true cosmic harmony, even if that means allowing for necessary destruction." Zex placed a reassuring hand on Arya's shoulder. "It won't be easy. Some may see us as traitors, welcoming the very force that once nearly annihilated us." Arya nodded, her expression resolute. "Then we'll just have to show them the bigger picture. The Coles united galaxies. We'll unite realities." As they prepared to return, the quantum nexus bestowed upon them gifts, enhancements to their ship and to themselves. The equilibrium was reborn as a harmony, a vessel that could navigate the quantum realm itself, and each crew member found their consciousness expanded, able to perceive and interact with multiple layers of reality simultaneously. "Remember," the Nexus said as they departed, "you are not just guardians of your galaxies now. You are caretakers of the cosmic cycle itself. The choices you make will ripple across eternity." The journey back was instantaneous and eternal, a paradox made possible by their newfound nature. As they approached the borders of known space, they could already sense the growing unrest, the void's influence seeping into reality. Arya stood at the helm of the Harmony, her form shimmering with newfound power and purpose. The weight of universes rested on her shoulders, but she was not afraid. She was the heir of heroes, the bridge between cosmic forces, and she would not fail. "Send a message to every world, every species, every plane of existence," she commanded, her voice resonating with the authority of the quantum nexus. "Tell them that a new age is dawning. an age of true balance, of cosmic harmony. As the harmony blazed across the galaxies, a wave of change followed in its wake. The message spread, igniting hope and fear in equal measure. But for those with eyes to see and minds open to cosmic truths, it was clear this was not an end, but a glorious new beginning. Ethan, Zara, and Lyra Cole had once saved the galaxies from destruction. Now their descendants would teach those same galaxies to embrace the entire cosmic cycle, to find strength in change and growth in challenge. The void was coming, but this time they would meet it not as an enemy, but as a catalyst for the next great leap in universal evolution. The cosmic awakening had begun, and its echoes would resonate across infinite realities for eons to come. As the harmony approached Earth, the birthplace of this cosmic saga, Arius smiled. The next chapter of their incredible story was about to unfold, and she couldn't wait to see what wonders and challenges it would bring.